Good morning, folks. My name is David Cohen, Vice President of Operations here at PFL, and we hope that everybody had a great weekend. The Dow closed lower on Friday of last week, down 137 points, but up 611 points week over week. The S&P closed lower on Friday of last week, down 37 points, but up 98 points week over week. The Nasdaq closed lower on Friday, down 225 points, but up 381.69 points week over week. In overnight trading, Dow futures traded lower and are expected to open up this morning 130 points. Crude prices traded down on Friday of last week, with U.S. crude settling below 95 for the first time since April in another choppy session. WTI is lower week over week for the third straight week after data showed gasoline demand down 8% year over year. The EU is adjusting sanctions on Russia, allowing Rosneft and Gazprom to ship oil to third-party countries in a bid to limit the risk to global energy security. Under tweaks to sanctions on Russia that came into force on Friday, payments related to purchases of Russian seaborne crude oil by EU companies would not be banned. Companies like Vitol and Total can now buy Russian seaborne crude and export it to third countries. A negative for crude, at least in the short term, but we always said Russian crude would make it to market, and it was never going to get shut in. WTI traded down $1.65 or 1.71% to close at $94.70. U.S. commercial crude inventories decreased by 400,000 barrels week over week. U.S. crude oil inventories are 6% below the 5-year average for this time of year. Total motor gasoline inventories increased by 3.5 million barrels last week and are 3% below the 5-year average for this time of year. Distillate fuel inventories increased by 1.3 million barrels week over week and are 23% below the 5-year average for this time of year. Propane and propylene inventories increased by 1.4 million barrels last week and are 16% below the 5-year average for this time of year. Propane closed out the week at $1.14 per gallon, down 3 cents per gallon week over week, but up 4 cents per gallon year over year. Propane prices have been trending lower since they peaked in March of 2022. Oil is higher in overnight trading, and WTI is poised to open up $1.31 a barrel from Friday's close. Total North American weekly rail volumes were down 3.3% in week 29. 6 of the AAR's 11 major traffic categories posted year-over-year declines, with the most significant decreases coming from grain, down 13.5%, and other, down 6.6%. The largest increase was from coal and non-metallic minerals, both up around 4%. North American rig count was up 6 rigs week over week. U.S. rig count was up 2 rigs week over week, and up by 267 rigs year over year. The U.S. currently has 758 active rigs, and Canada's rig count was up by 4 rigs week over week with 46 active rigs. Overall, year over year, we are up 313 rigs collectively. Folks, we are watching a few things out there this morning worth noting. We are watching crude by rail. The Canadian Energy Regulator updated its monthly crude by rail numbers. For May 2022, Canada exported 173,000 barrels per day by rail, up roughly 29,000 barrels per day month over month, or 25% year over year. A nice little uptick from April, and it's the largest showing since March of 2021, but still only 42% of its peak volume delivered in Feb 2020. We are headed in the right direction, folks, and expect to see crude by rail pick up slowly but surely. See PFL's rail report for further details and why this is happening. We are also watching natural gas. Nearly 70% of all voters support increasing nat gas production. A nationwide poll conducted by the Democratic polling firm Impact Research reveals that most Americans view natural gas as an affordable and reliable alternative to coal that will help address climate change and support increasing natural gas production. The survey was commissioned by EQT Corporation, the largest producer of natural gas in the United States. See PFL's rail report for further details. We go into a tremendous amount of detail and have the latest U.S. natural gas storage numbers for you. We are watching California. Oh boy, problems in Oakland, California. Container traffic will soon be affected. 450 protesters were opposing AB 5 were blocking all of the terminal gates at the Port of Oakland, forcing TRAPAC and the largest terminal operator, Oakland International Container Terminal, also known as SSA, to close operations on Wednesday of last week. See PFL's rail report for further details, but the protests are ongoing. The reading of PFL's rail report today is an absolute must. Not only do we dive into more detail as discussed in today's podcast, we also summarize the latest petroleum by rail numbers, talk about refinery runs, overall petroleum import and export numbers, a couple more surprises in there for you today, including White House hypocrisy as it relates to energy, the latest EIA forecast highlight, and what seems to be the beginning of the end of the US dollar as the world's reserve currency. Bottom line, a lot of great information, a lot of fancy graphs, and we hope that you enjoy reading PFL's rail report today. We do it all for you, folks. PFL has been extremely active in railcar storage, return on lease strategies, subleasing, mobile flaring, mobile repair, cleaning, and even scrapping. In case you didn't know, PFL does do mobile scrapping. In addition to scrapping on a mobile basis, we have scrap locations set up across the country on every Class 1 where cars can be delivered clean or dirty, utilizing a free return move. We pay cash on arrival, and make sure to check out our just posted reports at www.pflpetroleum.com or call PFL to troubleshoot any questions or concerns you may have at 239-390-2885. Although we have been busy, we need more work and are scheduling crews as I speak, so please call us today. We will not let you down. Again, call us on the desk, 239-390-2885. Thanks for watching, folks.